Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. Hit the like and hit the hype. And this is my review on Ready to Love, Season 11, Episode 2. Look, all I want to say is, hey, Devon, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? When I tell you he did a complete 360, giving corny cornball to Cat Daddy, baby, I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Poindexter to pimping. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute, where was that from the beginning? You know, he's a little wet behind the ears, but he was like, absolutely not. But anywho, let's get started. So we are back at the elimination, and it's pretty much between Devon and Richie and Dominique and Emily. And so with that being said, he's like, you got to go, but you have a chance with the second mixer. Now, silly me, but I thought the second mixer was actually going to have new people from Detroit in the mixer. Clearly, that wasn't the case, which I was like, what was the point? But okay. So, with that, they end up going away. And then Tommy says, well, guess what? They're not the only ones going to the second chance mixer because we're about to eliminate 6 more from this group. And they have to also go to the mixer as well. So at that point, once everybody hears that, everybody trying to be on their A game, including homeboy here. Because let's be clear, he was still awkward, very awkward. He didn't know how to respond. He didn't know how to talk. The problem is Ashante is also awkward as well. So Corday and Ashanti would actually be a perfect couple because they were both awkward, like they didn't know how to respond to each other. But at least she was trying to engage and have a conversation with him. He was just all over the place. And yes, those braids and the color is still bothering me. Yes, and it's going to continue to bother me. So, with that being said, we have, I think her name was Nicole and Ed. Like I said, I think they're going to be a couple or they're going to try it out this time around. The problem that I have with Miss Nicole is Miss Nicole, yeah, the fact that you are head over heels over this dude and you're still in awe of him all of these years later, and you're saying that in a confessional, meanwhile he's saying you were a homegirl. I'm gonna need for you to pull it back. You always want a guy who's into you more than you're into him, and you're a little too googly eyed and just so excited to see this man there. I hope it works out for you, girl, but I don't know. It's given too giddy. It's given too desperate to want Ed to really like her. But y'all let me know what y'all think. But I have a feeling this is going to be the couple, or they're going to try it out to see how it's going to potentially work. I just hope that Ed actually falls into her, like her, because he just seems like now he's like, oh yeah, you know, she's a great girl, whatever the case may be. She was a homie back then, but she's a great girl. You know, I can, you know, try her out and see how things go. That's the vibe that he's giving me. So I think this may be a couple that we have to be on alert about. Meanwhile, Miss Mathematician, I hate that I can notice stuff like this off the rip, but ma'am, what's going on with your sides of your hair? And why is one side like a blonde and the other side is black? It's not giving wig. It's given something else. Like maybe you didn't have a chance to press your edges, but why is one side of your edges blonde? Help me understand. Y'all see that? Look, you see the blonde hair on the side? And I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to give you a pass because you a mathematician, honey. And I ain't never met a black mathematician before in my life. So I'm going to give you a pass. But with that being said, she had a conversation with Chris. And Chris wasn't even trying to get to know her. He was more like, give me the scoop. What the girl's saying about me? Because I ain't trying to get eliminated. And she looking like, bruh, that's all you want to do is talk to me about who's going to get eliminated. So that didn't sit well with her. So, of course, when Tommy sits down with the ladies, that's one of the things that she brought up, like Chris, like he just doesn't seem genuine. Meanwhile, is it Lauren or Laura? I feel like her name is Lauren. Y'all know I be butchering names, but I'm gonna call her L Boogie for right now until I know if it's Lauren or Laura. But L Boogie still is harping on the fact that she didn't like that Xavier sat up there and didn't spin around for her and give her a 360. And I was like, okay, girl, I get it. But at the same time, it's given a little shallow that you are truly annoyed by the fact that he would not give you a 360. It's okay. He just said, look, you got to earn it. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was, but the fact that you're still talking about it, but I was just like, it's a little too much. It's a little too much. Now, with that being said, Corday and Chris and Xavier are the three that are going to be actually going to the second round mixer. And then we have Diamond, Christina, Ina, Tina, and Ashante. Now, of course, Christina, with her cocky, arrogant self, definitely was like, what? Did he just called me? Like, how dare they? Like, what? Me? I'm like, yes, you, because all you do is talk about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I can see Christina because again, she is so into herself and about herself. Again, I will say this again, if I didn't say it the last time, Christina gives me the type where she does not realize how she is, or maybe she does and she just doesn't care. But she's the type that she will say that people are just hating on her because she's pretty, not because she has a horrible attitude. Okay. So yeah, so definitely with her, I was like, they should have eliminated her the first round. Like, honestly, they should have eliminated her. But all 6 of them are going to the second mixer. Meanwhile, I have actually had some people contact me from the show. One of those people is Darius. You know, the one I said I don't trust a Darius to save my life, and I don't know how Darius is. Well, Darius hit me up, child. Let me tell y'all about it. All of a sudden, I get on my Instagram and I see a message and I see a follow, and I was like, who is this? And it was Darius hitting me up. He said he liked what I said as far as my jokes and stuff, but he actually said, pretty much get a chance to get to know me. I hope I can change your mind about me. And I appreciate the fact that he didn't get an attitude, because some of these people can't handle what comes with reality TV. Then I had somebody on my page say that Darius is the real deal. He is solidified and certified in Detroit. So at the end of the day, and shout out to Darius for being a trooper for reviews that we have, and anybody else who wants to hit me up from Detroit, shout out to y'all. Just know that this is for entertainment purposes. Don't take it personal. And if you do take it personal, I don't care. But with that being said, my thing is this. If Darius is legit, why is he on this show? And I got to ask you this, Darius, because my thing is this. There's plenty of beautiful Black women in Detroit who are single, ready to find that man. Better yet, will do anything for getting that man or trying to get that man. Why are you single? Now, I looked on his page, and one of the things that he says is that he's an actor. So I don't know how much faith I have on this show, y'all. And I just got to be honest, because once I see actor, it is giving that everybody is on this show potentially to pursue whatever career they want, or to actually push their personal brand or their business. That's what it's giving. Because again, Darius is not an ugly man. Clearly, the women in that actual room was feeling him. So if that is the case, I'm sure a lot of Detroit women are feeling him. Why is he single? Or is he single? And he's just on this show. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he does have a woman. He's on this show to push his brand. I don't know. But the fact that Darius contacted me, you know what I mean? And he wasn't even trying to brag about, his business stuff. He was just appreciating my review and thought it was funny. But one girl said, yeah, he's the real deal. So again, I'm sure there are women knocking on his door trying to bust down the door. So I just is given that we're dealing with a lot of actors right now. This is, and they're gonna do everything they can. The longer they can stay on the show, the longer they can push their brand or the things that they're trying to pursue. That is my opinion as of right now. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But shout out to Darius. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that he was a trooper and was laughing. He was like, keep me laughing, girl. So I appreciate that. So shout out to him. Now, with that being said, they are at the second mixer, and it's pretty much them mixing with themselves, honey. That's it. That's all. Dominique. Now, don't get me wrong, girl. You definitely got your body, and it's clear that you have no problem showing off your body. You look great to be in your 40s. But what in the JJ Fad salt and pepper hell is going on here? I I don't know, y'all. It's not for me. It's not for me, but it's giving your JJ Fat and your head to rock. It's giving the 80s. It is definitely giving the spandex we used to wear back in the day and thought it was cute. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she want to show a little bit more skin, hoping that I would keep her on the show. Again, the girl, you know what I'm saying? She keeps herself together, but I wasn't feeling this outfit at all whatsoever. But what I was feeling was Devon. Hey, Devon. Baby, let me tell you something. And they was feeling him too. Look at the way they smiling. Even Ashante, she was smiling from ear to ear. Baby, it took a suit. It took them sunglasses, and it took him to say, you know what I'm saying? Let me show that I can be swagged out. I'm not Poindexter. I know I'm straight up from the D. I'm from Detroit. Trust and believe. He was giving all the vibes. All the vibes. When you know when Dominique, because Dominique definitely, considering the fact that she has definitely had athletes as her exes, I think the first actual round, truthfully, I don't think she was really impressed with a lot of guys. I think that's really what it was. You know, they keep saying, or so one person keeps saying that she needs to smile more. I think that's just the way that she looks, but I honestly just think that she was like, I'm not really impressed. But she was clearly smiling from ear to ear with Devon. Hell, she was smiling with a couple of them, but definitely Devon. Devon was definitely there giving all the feels, and I was here for it. He stepped his game up for sure. Meanwhile, while she's talking to Dominique is talking to Devon, Richie comes and tells her that she needs to smile more. And she's like, man, don't ever tell me what I need to do, because I can tell you what you need to do and what you need to work on. Richie looks lost, and he definitely, while he claims that he gets the women or whatever the case may be, he was definitely given awkward on so many levels. And he definitely seems like the type that just constantly puts his foot in his mouth. For example, when they're sitting down and they're talking about how having opposite gender friends, is that something that you're okay with or not okay with? And he was like, look, I was raised by all women and I have thousands of female friends. And as soon as he said that, I said the same thing that Dom said. I was like, thousands? I was like, what? He was like, people need to stop taking me literally. She was like, I'm just going by what you said. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, he definitely was very, very awkward in the situation, which is why I wasn't shocked that he was on the chopping block. Meanwhile, Carday, he's more relaxed and he's giving his vibes all day long. Now, he definitely was still sweating, but he definitely was trying his best to step up and step his game up to the point where Dominique was like, hey, I'm feeling him. And a couple of the other girls was feeling him too. Like, he was trying to get his swag on. But again, his hair, you can tell he was sweating. He was glossy. He definitely was still nervous, but he made sure that he put his best foot forward. Now, Emily, baby, your titties look like they hurt. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. This is not the first time either. This happened in the first episode too. I don't know if you don't have on a proper bra, if you have a bra on at all and you're using that top as your bra. But as someone who was a part of the big titty committee, no, we have to wear bras that are proper so we don't look like we have 4 titties. and it's given that you have 4 different titties, the way that your bra is, or whatever that thing is, the little bustier, whatever you got, it is given, they hurt, it's given uncomfortable, it's given too much. It's given too much. But with that being said, she talks to Xavier and he says, look, I've been too busy. And that's probably why I'm single now, is that I'm constantly busy. Now, the thing with Emily, which to a certain extent, I can't blame her, because it's kind of like, okay, well, if you are already giving signs that I need to just keep it moving, she got red flags for everybody. It's like once she see a red flag, she is so quick to just literally be so rude and keep it moving. So she's like, yeah, him talking about he too busy or whatever to be in love, or that's why he's single because he's so busy. Yeah, this is a red flag, baby. She was like, yeah, let's cut this conversation and let's continue to mingle. And he was like, oh, you just gonna cut me off like that? It was getting good. And while I understand why she was like, I may be wasting my time, at the same time, girl, like, let him explain himself. You know, he's probably nervous. The fact that he's saying, like, yeah, that's probably why I'm single. I would have said, you know, okay, so then why are you here? What's going to change this time around or something? But she was like, well, yeah, I got to go. I'm about to go mingle. Bye. And kept it moving. So, with that being said, Tommy talks to the girls. And the girls are pretty much like, yeah, so at this point, it is going to be Richie and it's going to be Xavier. And so at that point, they were like, look, Richie, you definitely are not giving, you know what I'm saying, vibes of you wanting to be in a relationship. I think they said something else about his foot in his mouth. I don't know. But at this point, it's kind of hard for me to watch Richie because he's not here with us anymore. So it's kind of uncomfortable to even talk about him. But you know, he was a part of the show. But yeah, they were just like, yeah, you doing a little too much. And then they said, Xavier, you know, are you too busy for love? Like, are you really ready for love? He was like, I'm here, ain't I? And I'm like, that don't mean anything. You could be there for the exposure to be on TV. But at that point, they say, Richie, you got to go home. So Richie is not ready for love. So Richie is gone and, you know, off the show. And unfortunately, like I said the last time, allegedly he got into a motorcycle accident and he is no longer with us here on this earth. So again, RIP to him. But again, at least he was able to get his, I guess, I don't know, 15 seconds of fame or whatever the case may be before he left us. And hopefully his family sees that as a great reminder or something of him. I don't know. But with that being said, child, we move on and they're saying, okay, so after this, it's going to be the girls' turn. So the girls really start to step their game up, so much so that Diamond is trying to talk to Chris. Now, she also tries to talk to Xavier, but it seems like it's just kind of awkward with Diamond. You know, as far as them talking to her, they think she's great, but something could be missing. And I'm really wondering what they felt like that missing was, in my opinion, because I feel like she was trying to talk to them, but she's talking to Chris, and it does seem like they have a pretty decent conversation. But the problem is that you had Miss Christina, Ina, and freaking Dominique, who literally purposely interrupted their conversation. Christina was the one who was first. Like I said, she's too much. She was rude. She interrupted Diamond's conversation, trying to smell Chris because she swear he has this special smell about him, and she knows that it's him, and she's smelling him. And she was like, yeah, can I take him over here or whatever really quick, or can I pull him away? And Diamond was like, no, heifer. Actually, no, we need a couple of minutes. And then, of course, Christina, with her shady self in the confessional, is like, go ahead, have it, because you're going to need those 2 minutes. Being shady. And I was like, that's so rude. But then Diamond did the same thing, interrupted as well, asking him random questions about if he likes freaking suede or leather and all of this other stuff. And I was just like, you know what? See, this is why I can never do a show like this. Like, I understand it's competition and everything, and everybody's trying to make sure they stay on the show, but I would not be good for this show. because this is the type of stuff where I'll be like, oh, you want to get them? Take them. I don't give a damn. So literally Diamond is just like, you know what? Okay, these heifers is being rude, but she keep it classy. She keep it cute. After all, she is an attorney. She can't act a crazy fool. I don't know what field she's in as far as that field is concerned, but baby, when you got a license, you better stay on point with it, okay? You got too much to lose. So at that point, child, it ends up being Diamond and it ends up being Ashante at the end. But this is the most hilarious part of this episode. Baby, Devon was feeling himself so much. But I must say, so was freaking Dominique. She definitely kind of enticed him just a little bit. They were talking just like she was talking to what's his name, Corday. I keep forgetting what his name is, but they was both getting they shot in with Dominique. But Dominique and Devon definitely seemed like they really hit it off this episode. And she was like, you have a little something on your lip. Let me get it for you, or whatever the case may be. And it was very seductive. Like, it wasn't like she was like trying to get a napkin and just quickly wipe it off. She was trying to, let me just get it for you. Let me get it for you. And then he thought, okay, I'm feeling myself. And this fool tries to go in for a kiss. And I said, damn, like, you real bold. And she was like, are you trying to kiss me? And he was like, yeah. She said, absolutely not. Like, I appreciate your confidence, but you haven't even taken me out on a decent date. You haven't even taken me out on a date to actually kiss me. And he was like, I was trying, but she denied me. It was an epic failure. It was like, you doing too much. But at the same time, don't act like you wasn't trying to entice him a little bit, Dom. I'm just saying, you was trying to. You was being very seductive with the whole, let me touch your lip really quick and get this thing off that we couldn't even see. So clearly, whatever you saw, honey, you was just doing your little flirting, and he thought he can go in for it, but absolutely not. So, like I said, it is between Diamond. Hey, Dr. Londi, you don't care for Dominique? We're gonna have to see. I think Dominique, in my opinion, has that be resting face. She definitely has the be resting face that people sometimes, like, when you see that person, you may be like, dang, what's wrong with her? Or the energy may be off. Doesn't mean that that's who she is, though. She just has that resting face. We'll have to see, though. She definitely did a 360, in my opinion, also from the last episode to this episode. She was smiling more. She seemed to really want to get involved more in this particular episode, which is making me again wonder, it's just about who stays in it for the long haul. It's not really about love. At this point, again, this is either giving acting or giving, let me do everything I can to get myself out there for my branding purposes. That's what it's giving. Is anybody really here really for love? Really? Because it's not like they can really tell us that, I'm saying, oh, it's not for love. We're doing the show for X, Y, and Z. But that's what it's giving. But we'll have to see with Diamond. I mean, I'm not completely like turned off by Diamond. Diamond's hair, like I said, slays. I don't know if that's her hair or not. Let me tell you something, Dominique. If those are bundles in your hair, DM me where you got them bundles. Because, baby, them bundles are everything. That hair is laid. Okay, and I understand that it also takes someone who really knows how to do weaves and wigs well. But, baby, the hair in itself is beautiful. If that is not your hair, please let me know where you got them bundles. Now, going back to Diamond and Ashanti. They pretty much said Ashanti was awkward. She wasn't giving anything, and she wasn't. Even when Devon was like, let me sit down. How do you think I look as far as the physical aspect? Like, how do I look? And she was like, I mean, it got to be about personality and masculinity. And I was like, you can't just simply say, I think you're a nice looking guy, or I'm handsome, but I like to know what someone is as far as their soul and their spirit is concerned versus, their outer appearance. It was like she couldn't really articulate that, or she was guarded and she had her walls up. Meanwhile, I felt like Diamond gave more. In my opinion, I felt she gave more. She gave more when it came to, really trying to engage with these guys versus Ashanti. But for whatever reason, they made Diamond go home and Ashanti stays. And it's making me wonder why. Production. Was Diamond not giving what you wanted as far as looks are concerned, or what was going on? Because I thought for sure Ashanti was going home. I thought for sure she was going home. Now, interesting enough, I will say this. Ashanti and Darius in the last episode seemed to really have a great conversation, because I believe that's who she was talking to when she was saying that she loves Miami and she can go and really get any food that she wants when she's in Miami, because I believe she's vegan. She had a great conversation with him. So it could be that it really just takes a man to really step forward and really, be the one to lead the conversation for her to really, be comfortable. Because this episode, it definitely was given she was too awkward and her walls were up. And maybe it's just because those guys, she's not really interested in them, but she seemed to be really interested in Darius and even Devon. She was smiling when she saw how he looked and he was giving them cat daddy vibes. But I guess when she sat with him one-on-one, she really just felt like she froze. And I was like, what is going on? So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Diamond left. I really would have loved to see Diamond last a little longer, to be quite honest. There are also some other girls that I felt like, I'm like, why are they even still here? I don't know. I just felt like Diamond, they should have gave her a chance. That's my personal opinion. Now, I don't know how Ready to Love works. I am not. This is only my second season. Do they sometimes bring people back that were dismissed, or it's like once they're gone, they're gone? Because I would love for them to do that one season where they actually bring someone back and they have like a comeback story or something. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, with that being said, you guys, this episode really didn't give much. If I can be quite honest, wasn't the best episode, but I would say even with Philadelphia, it kind of started off this way too, and then it started getting good. But at the same time, we did have bigger personalities, in my opinion, in Philadelphia compared to Detroit. Right now, Detroit is giving kind of bland, but again, this is just the second episode, so we'll have to see. But with that being said, you guys, let me know what you guys think about this episode, about the outfits, about the side hair that's blonde on one side and black on the other. I don't know what was going on there. I'm like, was it like shaved sides and she just wanted to have straight hair for the? I don't know. I don't know, mathematician. You're gonna have to help me out on that, on what you were doing with that. And the salt and pepper JJ Fad outfits or whatever. Honestly, I know Detroit is known for their fashion. I know they are. But so far, especially with the women, like, I don't expect anything really from men. But with the women, like, nobody is really standing out to me yet as far as the fashion is concerned. Tay last year from Philly, there was definitely a couple of outfits that I saw her in where I was like, baby, she's giving fashion. Like, you can tell, you know what I'm saying? Like, from her outfits that she had on, makeup and hair and everything else, everything was grooving and flowing. Like, she knows how to dress herself and what's flattering to her. I don't know with them so far, but that's just my opinion. But so far, I haven't been impressed with the outfits. I haven't been impressed. I have been impressed with some of the hair, but the outfits, not really. But with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this actual episode. And do you feel that Diamond deserved to go home? Who are you guys liking so far? I don't have any favorites yet. I don't have any favorites. ZZ said Dominique is faking to stay on the show. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But again, to have somebody tell me that Darius is the real deal in Detroit, if Darius has all of those things, he said he has a luxury rental business, car business, fashion designer. He got it going on. If he's that dude in Detroit, baby, women are going to be knocking at his door. Like, seriously, like, you just don't have that many men that accomplished and single at his age. Like, and if he was really looking for love, you don't think a woman yet in Detroit, of all places, Detroit is a black city. You don't think there's no woman out there that would have sat up there and just gotten him already? Like, locked him down? I don't know. I don't know. So now I see why a lot of people are looking at this now, especially with season 11, that this show is giving fake. I don't know if people always felt like the show was giving fake, but it seems like now they kind of grasping for straws. The whole premise of the episode was trash. I don't mind having a second chance mixer, but they should have done it like Philly. Right. Right, Jaguar. I said that. I'm like, why have a second chance mixer with no new people? You just had a second chance mixer with the same people. It didn't make any sense. So I don't know what's going on with production, but I was just like, I was kind of happy because I was like, oh, they're going to bring in more people and we're going to see more people from Detroit and see how they mix and mingle with them. It didn't make sense to mix and mingle with the same people. Because honestly, then at that point, they were just going to be super comfortable. They had already seen each other. Bring in new people to see how they interact with the new people. Where the 20 people were split 10-10, they have the rejects from either group swap to the other group. The Detroit version makes no sense because the whole episode was all about the rejects we already know voting on who would be the final rejects. Right. That's why I said it didn't make any sense. And this is why I say this all could be a production issue too. The Philly option at least introduced the rejects from the first group to brand new people to try their luck. That makes sense. Exactly. Very much so made sense. What's worse, they sent home the wrong female. Okay, so you agree with me that it should have been Ashante that went home, not Diamond. The two Cougars and Ashanti still there. Did you say two Cougars? Jaguar said the two Cougars. Why they got to be Cougars? Why they got... He said, but then again, didn't they call themselves Cougars on the last season? So I don't think you're really saying anything. I don't know if they would be offended by that, but they did. I think one of them said, we Cougars up in here based on the ages of the men. But yeah, Ashante being still there, I didn't understand that, which makes me wonder again why they keep certain people on the show. And we not going to pretend that physical appearance makes a difference on these shows too. I don't care what anybody say, because I was just like, yeah, like definitely I could see on the superficial level why they would choose Ashante over Diamond. But if we're talking about realistically who did better in the mixer from what we saw with their own editing, Diamond was better. Ashante was very awkward because they both over 40. They on the wrong show. They should be on Golden Bachelorette. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Jaguar. One thing about it though, neither one of them look over 40. Like y'all got to give it to Emily and give it to Dominique. They don't look over 40. I don't think anybody would have known they were over 40. They were honest about their ages. At least I hope they are. And maybe they not like, what's her name? Truth from last season, who didn't want to give an age and was way older. But they both have said they're over 40. They don't look like they over 40. And to be quite honest, they both of them look like they can be the same age as some of the younger girls, if not younger than them. So kudos to them for actually showing or saying what their ages are, because they look good for their age. Like one thing about it, Dominique, she keeps her body together. Now she says she don't work out, so whatever nip and tuck she do or whatever she do to body sculpting, I don't know, but she keeps it together. So yeah, no, that's real talk. Jaguar, how old are you? Because like literally, but no, Dominique and Emily do look good for their age. They don't look like, y'all let me know in the chat, besides Jaguar, because Jaguar making it seem like I'm capping. Do Dominique and Emily look their age? I think they easily could look like they're in their 30s. Seriously, they look good for their age. But that's just my opinion. Now, I definitely have seen some 30-year-olds and even late 20 where I'm like, there's no way you're in your late 20s or even in your early 30s or even your mid 30s. But y'all let me know. So with that being said, you guys, let me know what you think about this episode in the comments section. Who are y'all rooting for? Who needs to go? Was it fair that Diamond got the boot? Y'all let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.